If you've been working out consistently, as well as tracking your food, and you still have not seen that you have lost weight, this video is definitely for you. Alrighty guys, what's going on? I'm Brandon with Jones Fitness and Nutrition. I'm gonna go over the top 5 reasons and why you're not losing weight right now. Reason number 1, and this is gonna be, I guess, the top 6 reasons, and maybe not the top 5. You are looking for weight loss, not necessarily fat loss. So when we talk about weight loss versus fat loss, weight loss includes not only losing fat mass, but it also includes losing muscle mass. Fat loss includes just losing fat mass and maintaining muscle mass. So a lot of people get this one a little bit more mixed up, and a lot of times when they go to work out, you'll see that they're often doing high cardio-based workeds, eating in an extreme caloric deficit, and they hope to lose fat. When it comes to losing fat, what you first and foremost need to make sure that you're doing is you need to make sure that you're actually eating enough food. It's very, very hard to lose the proper amount of fat if you're not supplying your body with the right type of nutrients and if you're not giving it the right type of output. So that's gonna be reason number 1 and why you are not losing weight. You are thinking about losing weight mass overall rather than specifically fat mass. Reason number 2 and why you're not actually losing weight is going to be because you simply are not in a caloric deficit. A caloric deficit simply means that you're putting out more calories than you're actually putting in. So you either are expending more energy than you're actually consuming, or you are eating less than you're actually putting out. And it's pretty simple. If you are doing things like getting your steps in on a day-to-day basis, you are working out, you're staying active, you're more than likely going to be putting out a lot of calories. If you are eating underneath that and you're actually monitoring what you're eating and you're almost more or less budgeting what you're eating, which we'll talk about a little bit later, or you can do this the other way around. You can make sure your activity level stays right where it is and that you're eating under that activity level. If you are more sedentary, trust me, it's gonna be very hard to make sure that you're eating less because you're gonna be eating a lot less food than you might like to do. So I highly recommend that my clients, and I recommend this with anyone, that you keep your NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, pretty high. It's just a fancy term for making sure that you're walking around and staying active on a day-to-day basis. In addition to that, you want to make sure that you're exercising in a way that's going to favor the type of weight loss that you want. Reasoning number 3 and why you're actually not losing weight is that you're not consistent. Maybe you're going to the gym 2 days out of the week, and then you're going in 3 days the next week, and then you're not going in for another 2 weeks at a time. Your body is going to get this wave-like pattern because you're giving it some sort of output and then you're not giving it output. Same thing when it comes to food. If you're not consistent with the food that you're eating, not saying that you have to necessarily eat the same exact foods, but if you're not budgeting your food or eating the same consistent amount of calories or calculating your calories to be low enough for a certain amount of time during the week and then maybe come up and come back down, you're not going to see the results that you want to see. There's zero consistency if you go out to eat today, then you eat in tomorrow, eat out the next day, and then you eat in 3 days later, then you lower your calories. There's no sort of consistency in that type of plan. If you are doing those things, but you're maintaining a consistent input as far as where your calories should be, then that's a little bit different of a problem, and we'll go over that in just a little bit. We already kind of touched on this. Your workouts are more cardio-based. Maybe you're doing the Stairmaster for an hour. Maybe you're running all the time. Maybe you're biking. And then you're just wondering, why am I not losing weight? Well, again, you don't have a negative energy balance. You're not putting out more than you're actually putting in. Or you might also not be prioritizing your workouts towards what you actually want to do. If you want to lose fat mass, again, you need to make sure that you're actually training with weights. When you train with weights, and you make sure that you're pushing your lifts and your intensity is high, you're telling your body that you need to keep muscle mass around and that's a very important thing for your body to ultimately use. So if you're weight training primarily and you're dieting in the proper way, you're gonna notice that you're gonna keep muscle around and start to lose more fat mass rather than if you're primarily just doing cardio, you're gonna see mostly muscle mass leave first and then some fat mass. Ultimately, you're not gonna be where you wanna be. This is a term I like to call, and I've heard a lot of my clients mention this term as well, where you become skinny fat. So that's another thing to look out for. Make sure that you're training with weights and you're training with a decent intensity, going close to failure. Now, absolute failure is not always okay because you wanna make sure you can recover and be able to do more workouts in the future, but training close to failure tells your body, again, this muscle mass is important and I need to use it. Reasoning number 4, you're not accurately tracking your food. There's an app called MyFitnessPal. It's absolutely amazing. I have all my clients use it. The database on that is absolutely amazing. You can find food from Chick-fil-A to Chipotle to McDonald's to Starbucks. Whatever you want to find, you can pretty much find on this app. Now there are a few niche places that might not be on the app, but you can kind of guesstimate and get pretty close to that niche place. So if you're not accurately tracking your food, you may also be using what I call the measuring tool rather than the weighing tool. Let's say that you go to eat oatmeal in the morning and you take a measuring cup and you scoop out a half a cup. Got a half a cup of oats because that's what the nutrition label says. You know exactly the amount of carbohydrates, the exact amount of protein and fats in the oats that you're about to eat. What you might find is that if you were to actually weigh out that half a cup versus just scooping out a half a cup of oats, you're gonna find incongruencies. So if you look on the back of your nutrition label, next to everything that it says, there's not only gonna be the cup, but you're gonna see what that item should weigh. So if it's a half a cup of oats, that half a cup might equal 40 grams. If that half a cup equals 40 grams, and again, you were to just scoop it out and have a half a cup of oats in your measuring tool, if you were to take that same half a cup of oats and then weigh it on a food scale, you know, maybe not just weigh it on the scale, but put a bowl down, zero it out, and then weigh it, there's more than likely gonna be more oats in that half a cup than 40 grams. Why is that? Well, the FDA has a little bit of leeway that it can have with any sort of nutrition label, so it doesn't have to be exactly accurate when it tells you this is a half a cup of oats. You wanna make sure that you're being as accurate as possible, so weighing food is definitely something that I have all my clients do so that we can have all their data and make sure that we are in the right and not in the wrong when it comes to accurately tracking food. Making sure that you're weighing your food out prior to eating it and then recording it is gonna help a lot. Okay, now this is my final reason, and I guess, again, this is technically 6, maybe not 5, but this is probably the most important one and the most overlooked one, and also probably one of the most controversial reasons and why you are not losing weight. So my final tip and why you're not losing the weight that you wanna lose, this might be a little bit in your face, but you're lazy. That's not meant to be mean, but if you are doing all the steps that we just went over and you still see that you're not consistently losing weight, then you were probably skimping out on something. Whether it's your workout or your nutrition, you're definitely skimping out. I tell my clients it's always okay to eat out as long as you're pre-tracking your food by making sure that you're recording it in MyFitnessPal beforehand, and as long as you're overestimating rather than underestimating. You gotta ask yourself, are you really overestimating or are you actually underestimating? If you go to Chipotle, they make your burrito, they sprinkle cheese on the burrito and it looks like a heavy load of cheese, and you record that as only 1 serving, you know you're in the wrong when it should be about 2 or 3 servings. Or let's say you go out for drinks with your friends. You say, oh, maybe that was only 1 shot, but in reality, you know there are about 3 shots in that drink of alcohol. Well, hey, there you go right there. That's 3 times the calories that you did not count for. So you need to make sure that you're being extremely accurate as you possibly can to make sure that you're seeing the results that you want to see. When it comes to working out, if you're only going into the gym a few days out of the week, skipping out on a workout here, skipping out on a workout there, you're only giving 50% this one day, then 100% the next day, 80% the day after that, there's incongruency right there as well, and you're not going to see the results that you want to see. So you want to make sure that you're giving it your all, that you are being as accurate as possible in every single realm. That's how you're gonna see those results. That's how you're gonna see the ultimate changes in your body. You gotta start to change things mentally before you can start to see them physically. When you believe that that change is possible, you'll start to act in ways where that change actually is possible. You'll start to see the physical differences in yourself once you make sure that you're in that caloric deficit, once you make sure that you're actually putting in the work, once you make sure that you are accurately weighing out your food at home and tracking it properly when you're going out to eat. That's really where the magic happens. Gotta remember it mentally and see it mentally before it happens physically. And this isn't just some sort of airy-fairy type of talk. This is reality. You have to be able to see where you wanna go. And once you can see it, stay locked on it, and you will get there as long as you trust in the process. If you ever wanna work with myself or Kaylee, just be sure to go ahead, comment down below. Follow us on Instagram at Mr. Brandon Jones and Mrs. Kaylee Jones. You can, again, shoot us DMs there and we can get you all set up and talk about working together. The process is really simple as far as what we have our clients do. Each one of our clients wakes up, weighs in on a fasted stomach. That means no water, no food, gets their true weight, jots it down in a spreadsheet. After that, it's pretty simple. You can either do this the night before or the day of. You take just 5 minutes out of your schedule and just go ahead and pre-plan your food on MyFitnessPal. You can go ahead, log in everything that you plan on eating for the day, making sure that you're tweaking things and accurately meeting the macros that your coach sets, which would be one of us. And then from there, you're just going ahead and consuming those things as you pre-laid them out. If you have any questions, again, comment them down below and we'd love to answer them for you. Thank you guys again for tuning into this video. I'm super excited about this series. This is called Ask a Pro with me, a pro natural bodybuilder, Brandon Jones. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.